Hello, everyone. Welcome to News Now, the Belmont Journal's daily update on what's going on in the community of Belmont. I'm your host, Roger Colton. I have with me today three representatives from Belmont Helps. I have John Kaliski, who's going to talk with us about Belmont's Restaurant Month. I have Jessica Mutch, who is going to talk to us about the vaccination of Belmont school teachers. And I have Amy Kirsch with Belmont Helps. Thank you for joining us, all of us. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. John, let's talk about Restaurant Month. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yes, and thank you, Roger, for the opportunity to be here with you today. Since Belmont Helps was created a year ago, one of our focuses has been on how to assist the community particularly with providing food to some of the families in need. One of the activities we've had going on for several months has been known as Belmont Dines, and that's involved purchasing gift cards from many of the Belmont restaurants for distribution through the food pantry and for other services. And we've seen it as a great way to get food out to families in need, but also to help increase traffic to some of our restaurants. There's almost 40 different restaurants in Belmont, ranging from full service sit down to coffee shops and bakeries, and some that are primarily were takeout even before this last year started. For many of them, of course, they've been struggling with reduced foot traffic and increased costs during the last year. So we've been continually looking at how can we help the restaurants out, and particularly this phase right now, we're between the holidays, which were traditionally a big purchase period, but also before we get to the spring and summer and warm weather and resumption of outdoor dining opportunities. So our idea was to promote March as Belmont Restaurant Month, to encourage all Belmont residents to be ordering out or taking out or dining in, whatever the level of comfort is, and to be visiting as many of our restaurants as possible. And we have nearly 40 restaurants participating. Many of them are offering specials to anybody who calls up and mentions they're with Belmont Helps. We also have had a donor who has pledged to donate $1 to Belmont Helps for every meal that's purchased through this program. And all the purchaser needs to do is post up on social media, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and hashtag Belmont Helps, so we know that someone has ordered. And some of the restaurants have already told us they've gotten some very good response just over the last couple of weeks.
Amy, let's come over to you. Tell us how Belmont Helps got involved with this.
We've always wanted to support Belmont businesses, and we've been buying restaurant gift cards for people in need of food all along since we've launched Belmont Helps. We actually just achieved our 1-year anniversary, March 14th. Helping people with food needs for a year. So it was just a natural fit to be able to celebrate our Belmont restaurants and make sure that other people celebrate them with us. Getting people to tag Belmont Helps is easy on social media, and each time they tag, we have a donor that's willing to donate. We have Dr. David Alpert that's volunteered to do that, and then we also have an anonymous donor as well. So every time you tag Belmont Helps, that's $2 for us this whole month of March, which is so exciting. And, we're always taking more donors if anybody else wants to join our effort. So we're really excited to be able to support the restaurants. We've spent more than $16,000 on restaurant gift cards at this point. And that's in addition to all the groceries, and Belmont Helps has spent more than $35,000 for the community, helping those with food needs so far. So,
John, let's come back to you. Have you been able to track whether this has caught a hold in Belmont? Are people responding?
Certainly what we're seeing on our social media feeds has shown a very positive response from people who are putting out photos of their meals and hashtagging Belmont Helps and just highlighting some of the restaurants they've been visiting, in some cases, many for the first time. And anecdotally, what we've heard from some of the restaurants as well is positive response in terms of people calling in for orders and mentioning they're with Belmont Helps.
You mentioned that there are 40 participating restaurants. What that tells me is that it's something I think people forget, and that is that it really is townwide. This is not a Belmont Center promotion.
Absolutely. We have restaurants in Belmont Center, in Cushing Square, in Waverly, and really all over the town. And it's been exciting, for me as a longtime Belmont resident to see how many restaurants there are, and many that I have not had a chance to visit until this last year. So we're trying to really just promote all of our restaurants and make people more aware of what a wonderful part of the community the restaurants are.
If someone wants to participate, what would they do?
They can just call any restaurant in town, and many of them are it's the normal way of ordering takeout or dine in, and they can mention Belmont Helps when they're doing the order to promote us. And then, as Amy indicated, after they purchase their meal, just take a photo, post it on our Facebook page or on Twitter and hashtag Belmont Helps. And we have an opportunity just to see how many people are participating and also to, again, celebrate all the restaurants.
Well, thanks for bringing us up to date. Let's close the door on that. Jessica, let's come over and talk to you about vaccinations for Belmont school teachers. Can you tell us where Belmont Helps fits into this?
Sure. So when we first learned that teachers could get vaccines through CVS, there was a lot of folks who wanted to help because appointments would come out during the day when our teachers were teaching our kids. And for a lot of us, it was pretty important to get that particular group vaccinated. And Amy had put out some posts on her Facebook page, the Belmont Mass Parents Group page, and folks were asking for tips and tricks, and some of us were putting some out there, and she reached out and said, how about launching a program and helping Belmont Helps make this happen?
And I've been saying Belmont school teachers. Is it limited to Belmont school teachers, or is it school teachers wherever they might teach?
It's wherever they might teach, so long as it's in agreement with, the eligibility requirements. We certainly don't help people cut the line or anything like that. But so long as someone is eligible, if they teach in Belmont in the K through 12 system, part of the lab program, all of it, preschool, daycares, anything that again, that's eligible, that's within Belmont. We've booked appointments for some people who live in Belmont but teach elsewhere. That certainly, is part of our community, and we're reaching out to whomever we can help within this sort of focused area.
Amy, can you tell us about the collaboration between the various stakeholders, whether it's the school administration or the unions and Belmont Helps? How does this all fit together?
It's a great question. We launched our vaccination assistance squad with Jessica's help and gathered in the players. We've had some people give us some input that was doing this already. So Addie Baptista and Aaron Picklings and also Rachel Gould gave us some assistance on, where are people finding vaccine tips and tricks, and we created a whole tips and tricks document. And then we sent it out to the schools and the union and to anybody else that would need that information, and said, we want to help your teachers. We sent it out to the preschools, the daycare centers, and also the Belmont Religious Council to let them know that we can help their schools. So we certainly reached far and wide and cast a wide net to let them know that our team is there for them.
Jessica, I'd like to come back to you, and I want to make a comment and have you respond to it. It seems as though the community participation in this effort would extend beyond the parent community. Can you tell us how or why people who don't have kids in the schools or students in a preschool should be participating in this?
As volunteers or as applicants for appointments?
Well, in supporting your effort as volunteers.
We do have a lot of parents who volunteered right away, and we have a lot of folks who heard about it indirectly, beyond Amy's page. Amy's an amazing networker and really got the word out. And we have folks that, best I can tell, have no connection to the schools at all, but frankly, I think are just a little tired of sitting on the sidelines. Like they'd like to be part of a solution. And schools is a tough situation. There's a lot of challenges out there for the teachers and the students. And this is an area where people are very eager to help. Our volunteers took shifts overnight. Some folks stayed up all night because they just couldn't help themselves. It was so exciting and exhilarating to be part of the solution. We learned a lot. We learned a lot in real time. It was amazing to be part of. So I think the folks that really jumped in the deep end with us got just as much out of it as those that we were trying to help.
And are you getting a good response from teachers?
We are. We had a good response. I think we not vaccinated, excuse me. I think we've helped to book appointments for about 80 folks through the program. A number of volunteers have taken their skills sort of outside the program and helped in unofficial ways as well. And so it's been powerful. And I've received phone calls from teachers who I have 3 kids in Belmont Public Schools, teachers who already had appointments, but called me to just say thank you to me and all the volunteers because their colleagues were getting appointments. They were getting appointments quickly that had a quick first appointment. So we got appointments within hours for them while they were working during the school day, and their appointments were the next day. So the earlier folks could be vaccinated, that was welcome, so they can build their own immunity before the schools go back in full time for all students. So it was pretty impactful, not just the teachers that we helped and the volunteers that participated, but others who are touched by them. It was amazing.
Jessica, can you tell us how people might volunteer to help with this Belmont Helps initiative on helping to arrange appointments?
That's an interesting question because we have about 10 volunteers who are just highly experienced now from their intense, 8 days. And we have new volunteers that are coming in. And what I've been suggesting to the new volunteers is that right now we're covered. We have more volunteers than we do have requests. But I share information about the program so they can learn more, so they can learn tips and tricks. And we don't know what might happen next. Who we'll partner with, who we'll expand it to. And that's something that Amy and Belmont Helps needs to figure out. My main motivation was teachers and folks associated with the school. But Belmont Helps might move it forward.
Amy, do you have something to add about a final Belmont Helps initiative that's going on right now?
Another initiative that Belmont Helps has right now is Brave Maeve, is a book by Belmont authors, and they are donating all their proceeds to Belmont Helps. So please go out and buy Brave Maeve. It's the story of a girl who's learning about COVID. And so very relevant and very new in town. I'm really proud of all the Belmont Helps initiatives, and it's something that keeps growing and evolving. So stay tuned with us.
Thanks for joining us to tell us about it. Belmont Helps, filling yet another need in the community of Belmont. We've been joined today by Amy Kirsch, who is the organizer and one of the leaders of Belmont Helps, John Kaliski, who talked to us about the Restaurant Month, Belmont Restaurant Month, and Jessica Mutch talking about vaccinations and arranging appointments for teachers who live and work in the community of Belmont. You've been watching News Now, the Belmont Journal's daily update on what's going on in the community of Belmont. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Roger Colton. I'll talk with you again next time.